Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Chucklesluts, episode 23. Holy crap, that's a prime number. My name is Sammy Locke.
I'm Shannon Brunetti.
That was a great fact. I'm Zach Clapperidge.
And we're going to start off the show like we always do with the World Doe. There's some good ones today, I think.
I can go first if you want.
By all means, it's all you.
All right, I got... let me count the words. I've got 3 words. Virtual reality cows. VR cows. In Moscow, the Moscow Ministry of Agriculture has come up with a way for cows to make more milk, which is to put VR headsets on their cows and make them calm before the milking process.
Are they just like showing them cow porn?
Yeah.
I literally said that before the show.
Gets them excited.
No, it's just it's calming imagery, like pastures and fields, to get them all like in the Zen zone. I mean, this is what they tell us. It's probably cow porn because they can't, write that in an official statement like, yes, this is the cow porn for the. I can't do a Russian accent.
You were there. You were close. My question: the infrastructure for that must be madness because like cow farms are huge. Like there's like hundreds of thousands of cows on like big farms. That's a lot of VR sets. That's so much money. That would cost more than the cows. Like that's crazy. The Russians they're winning the VR race.
Maybe it's because like it's just snow and miserable and all the time, and they're just like drinking like vodka straight out of the bucket, and they're just like, you know what, we need to make better milk, and they're just like moo cow here, and it's just grass. It's just like American grass VR.
They're feeding in vodka. My hamburger has quite this thing to it. Yes, very.
Yes, the hamburger has quite this thing.
It's got the.
It's a bad cow when it's got an alcoholic volume to it.
I mean, obviously there were some people that were like, why are you spending government money on VR headsets for cows? And then they probably ended up dead.
I mean, the answer is money laundering, most likely.
Probably.
I'm trying to, because maybe it's in the process, because this is going to get, sorry, like trigger warning for vegans. But like when they go through the process, there's like the hydraulic fucking forehead press. I wonder if they just kind of like have one headset, like, so when it's coming up to it, because the cows relax. Like when I was a kid, I worked on farms a lot, and I did like got animals and kill things because we ate it and whatnot. And if the animal was scared when it died, like the meat was really tense, and the meat wouldn't be good. So you wanted to like surprise the animal. So often you would kill them when they were like sleeping, it sounds kind of dark, but it made the meat taste better. So it would make sense that like right when they're going up on the line, maybe there's just like 5 machines. Because I can't imagine they would give like 100,000 VR sets. Like, give me one. I'll walk around and fucking milk myself. That got weird. But I've done worse for less.
I'm trying to figure out like the VR headset. Like obviously it has to be like cow-headed.
Yeah, it's like big enough for the cow. They have special VR headsets that fit on the cow. It's probably like they don't give out a lot of information because yes, this is Mother Russia. We do not tell secrets here. Yeah. But it's probably something similar, like right before they're about to go on and do the Milky Milks. To do it, but like basically the agriculture department was like, hey, we've done a study on like happier cows and probably smaller farms that weren't so like industrial produce better milk than the big old industrial farms, and they're like, how do we make big farms taste better and make the cows less miserable?
They just put like a screener on. They just show them movies every night. Like they can't let the cows go on date nights. Put it up on a projector. They kick it. It's fine.
Drive-in movies.
Does this change the 2 cow theory for Russia? You have 2 cows. Both have RV. Both make more milk.
I'm actually going to look into this. I'm super interested because it, like as I said, like the infrastructure of that plan sounds like astronomically absurd. But very, very interesting. Also, like such a Russian thing to do. Cows aren't happy. Give them happiness. Make them better. So, I mean, what do you want to do? Like, give them a bigger farm? No, show them farm in space. VR farm. Take them to Mars. Let them play Call of Duty. They shoot people.
Let them play Call of Duty.
Yeah, my God. They show them wrestling bears. All their cows get like super jacked and they ride horses.
If a cow
That's a power move, a cow riding a horse.
like the VR games, like VR chat, but it's actually a cow on the other line. They're like, why is this dude not moving? It's Cow in Russia playing
what
VR
if they were
chat.
fucking crazy good at it?
I have the best name for the VR app too. They call it World of Cowcraft. It would be great.
I'm in. I mean, I played the goose game and it was great. So I'd certainly play a cow game. Cows at least have like friends. Geese hate each other. They're awful. Geese are so mean. But cows get like buddies. They hang out and they don't really do anything. Cows are pretty dumb. That's why we don't eat horses. Like horses are smarter and harder to domesticate. The only reason we eat cows is because they're stupid and they don't run fast, which is real. Anyway, sorry, that was it. That's super awesome though. Thank you for that one. I'm gonna research that. That sounds so interesting.
Let's see. Mine's not nearly as interesting, but it is kind of that guy did this, and Florida man, because of course it's a Florida man, comes out of Florida.
God. Does it involve an alligator?
Not quite.
Well, then I don't believe you.
I mean, technically, it is there is an alligator like superpower, I'm sure, in the Marvel world somewhere, but this is a Marvel story.
It's gator adjacent.
It's gator adjacent. So, dude decides, you know what I'm going to do to set a world record? I'm going to go ahead and watch Avengers Endgame 191 times in 90 days. And what makes this even more fascinating is that it's not the first record. The first record belonged to another dude who watched it 103 times in 90 days. In terms,
how did
so much?
Did he like record himself? Like, how do you?
I don't know the proof in how he did it, but essentially, he went to the theater and he saw it 90 days.
Oh, he did it in the theater.
In the theater.
Did he pay for it every time?
It doesn't go into that detail. What it does say, and this is a quote from the dude. I don't even think they give me his name here, but the most difficult part about this attempt was giving up my social life, my family, the gym, and managing my work hours and screening times at the theater. So, A, he definitely paid for it himself. B, if he had a girlfriend, he no longer has one. And 3, like, he's going to put this on his like dating profile. I'm a world record holder. Ask me how.
So what happened was he had a girlfriend or partner, whatever.
He just went through a bad breakup.
And just broke up or during this process broke up with them. And then to get another person that's going on their Tinder, Grindr, or Hinge, whatever the fuck profile, because that's his big achievement.
I mean, it's gonna hook somebody. Like there's a spirit animal out there for him. Mm-hmm. Milton. Oh my! I'm so sorry. There's a squeaker. He's got his.
We love Milton.
Yes, the Chucklesluts mascots.
Yeah, but no, that's such a weird thing to do.
Yeah, no, it's just I just want to know how many times he had to watch it before he just knew like every line in the movie, like all 3 hours or however long. I don't know if it's like both of them or like one half. Okay, it's Avengers Endgame, so it's one half of the second. It's not even the whole thing; it's the second half.
I will say that. I mean, I could watch that movie. I could probably watch the movie like once a month and never get bored of it. It's such a good movie.
In terms of movies that wouldn't make you pull your hair out, like that's not a bad thing for sure. Like I remember reading about a pair of dudes who would watch one Adam Sandler movie like every day for a year, but it's like the same Adam Sandler movie.
I was just about to say, I think there's enough Adam Sandler movies. I'm pretty sure you could do 365 Adam Sandler movies.
No, like it's one movie, 365 days, and then they start another one, 365 days. It's on a Vice article or something, and they're just like, we have come up with so many new things about the world because of this. And I'm like, what could you possibly learn from Adam Sandler?
I don't have time for that. Like that's my biggest thought is like, I have so much shit to do. Like even like the shit that's really important to me. Sometimes I'll be like, oh my God, I have to hit this deadline, but I don't think I can. I should focus on the other deadline that I have to do. Like, woof.
I mean, if I had a movie that I could watch that many times, would probably be David Bowie's Labyrinth. It's Jim Henson's Labyrinth, but let's be real, it's David Bowie's Labyrinth.
For sure.
I feel like that would be hard. Like I could definitely watch it maybe a max of like 10 times, and then after that I would have to watch something else. For me, it would be Scott Pilgrim. I can watch Scott Pilgrim all day, every day. I could do that standing on my head.
There's not a single thing in the world I would fucking off myself if I every day for even a week. Like my brain couldn't handle it. I get so tense when I'm not doing something like productive. Like I've watched Gladiator probably like 15 times in my life because it's my favorite movie. And I guess I sound basic saying like this is like everyone's favorite fucking movie, but it's my favorite fucking movie, and I probably watch it 15 times in my life, and that's too many times. Like the only thing that even comes close to it is there's a couple like anime fights that I could show people like every day, but that's like 2 minutes. But
House Moving Castle, that's another one. I can watch that forever. It's nice. It's like
off myself in round 3.
Okay,
it's a great movie.
There's
it's
another
just wholesome.
The other movie I would watch probably a million times just because there's so much detail that I feel like I miss every time I see it, and that's Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice has so much going on in terms of like design and sets and just everything. Like I think I've seen it maybe 5 times my entire life, and I feel like it's not enough. There's always like something that catches my eye every single time.
Okay. I could watch Bane beat up Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. That's just that scene, just the broken back scene every day. I love it. You think darkness is your ally. Like I could watch every day. It's the coolest fucking scene. That's the only, but again, it's like an anime fight.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's about it.
Anyway, okay, no, I do have his name. His name's Ramiro Atlantis. So good job. I don't know what for.
Ramiro Atlantis?
Or Atlantis? There's no T. It's Alanis.
I thought his last name was Atlantis, and I was like, he's the coolest person. Ramiro Atlantis? Yeah. That's going to be my next fucking D&D character.
Anyway, Mr. Ramiro, congratulations on your feats. I don't imagine anyone is going to follow that for quite some time.
Ish. Take a shower.
Ish. With that being said, Zach, what do you got in the world today?
This will be pretty quick, but it's kind of rad as a futurism thing. Not full tinfoil, just something rad. Often in like sci-fi movies, there's like a kind of scene where someone like has like a human head or like a dead guy, and they're like, I'm gonna stick a ding in their brain and see the last 5 minutes of their life. And it's always been sci-fi and ridiculous and stupid. However, here recently, where was it? It was the University of Toronto in Scarborough. This is in Canada. They found a way using an EEG machine to show images. Like they would have someone think of something, and a computer connected to someone's brain would make the image they were thinking of. So we now have the ability to use a computer to see what your brain is thinking, which the ramifications of that are crazy. Like, of course, thinking of like legal stuff, like if like you could never really lie, like being like interrogated, like you know anything, like, or like people that have like Alzheimer's showing like their history and stuff. It's crazy.
Sounds like some Black Mirror shit.
For sure.
Minority Report shit.
Yeah, but they also, I mean, it's again like you have to go and like get hooked in, and it only shows like what you're thinking like right now. Like it's not like they can dig in and be like, where were you on August 14th? It's more like think of a cow, and it'll show like a cow. But the fact that they're doing that is incredible. Technology is such a mind-blowing thing. And but it like clearly renders like a real picture of what you're thinking of.
Honestly, that's like one of my unique, like totally like unreasonable, scary things that someone could just like read my mind at any given time. Because I think terrifying. I think that we're all garbage humans on the inside, and we all have these like weird thoughts. And the thing is, what I don't like about that is that there's no context to the thing that you're thinking of. And so if they, let's say you were like court ordered to put this thing on your brain bucket, and like, you know, the things that you're thinking
like,
of.
Where were you on this night? And just shows a bunch of dicks, and you're like, oh, sorry, my bad.
Think about it. It's just like they're like telling you to think of certain things, and just like the person's
dicks.
Just dicks.
It's like, whose dicks are those? That's your dick, and that's your dick.
I hadn't thought about that. That's such an interesting concept, that Sam, of absolutely like the just not like whatever they ask, they're still intruding in your brain. Like, what if you think of something different?
There's a lot of ethical issues there. Like it's very mind rapey, and I don't think I like that. I think let's assume that this became a really advanced technology over 100 years or so.
For sure, because this is the baby of it. So imagine in even 10 years, it's going to be perfect.
Yeah, no, I definitely wouldn't use that as like there's definitely ethical concerns around that.
But as a writer who thinks of fantastical places that don't exist, and I'm not a very good artist, once this technology gets really cool, you can see exactly what your mind's eye sees, and then you can take a screenshot of it and you're like, yeah, that's the world I'm thinking of. That'd be super rad, you know?
That would make as like with 3 writers here in the building at the moment. No, like, could you imagine Shani, you're not even doing well right now. Imagine what's going on in your brain. Like that's so I always find it funny when people are like, I would love to be able to read people's minds. No. I fucking wouldn't. Can you imagine how awful people are inside? Like if people knew what was happening in my brain, I would be executed. I would be put into an electric chair and then shot. Mm-hmm. Like it would be so bad because the things that happen in my mind are so awful. Ooh. So a picture for sure, but then if like one tiny leak of like what am I actually thinking comes out.
Well, again, like I guess it really does depend on whether people have more like aggressive towards other people's thoughts, more aggressive towards their self thoughts. Because for sure, I'd be thrown into a mental institution.
Dude, no, we are all skin deep, and we are all Neanderthals, just under the skin. Like they're
for sure.
Like even like if you're not even thinking of something horrible, you're thinking of something horrible. Yeah, it's just part of the human condition. Like 50% of your brain is dedicated to, hey, what happens if this thing happens, and just explosions and bad things all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like the Jungian or Jung. Is that how you say it? Like Jungian? Study of Jungian. I don't know how to say it. But like when like the difference of like the id and the self and the ego and all these things, like we have to convince ourselves to not be monsters all the time. Like every moment of our life, we have to say like, you're a person in a society and you have rules you have to live by. So don't be a monster.
I will
every moment.
I will say this. There is one show that did kind of the inner workings of a brain, I think, so completely well in terms of like just mental illness in general. And that's Bojack Horseman.
I love that show.
There was this one episode where we got like his
Milton.
Where he did his entire internal monologue, and it's just him like, you know, fuck you, I hate you, you're a piece of shit. And like it's squiggly lines everywhere. And I'm just like, holy crap, I feel seen today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Especially I remember that episode. I remember going like, damn.
Yeah. And then the view from halfway down, the second to last episode of the season.
God, yeah.
I had to watch it.
I cried during
I cried hard. I cried so like ugly cry.
I'm not gonna lie, I haven't finished Bojack because it fucked me up. It fucked me up really bad.
Okay, yeah. No,
that makes
but not for about like the show's amazing. But I didn't finish because it legitimately like, I mean, again, we're all fucking California Hollywood people. Like it wrecked me bad.
It's hard, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was like what, like Californication. It's like a silly show, but like a cool writer's killing it, fucking girls. But then like when it gets bad. Woof, because like I don't know if I've ever related to someone more than I relate to fucking Hank Moody or whatever his name is.
Fucking Moody, dude. Like,
and
no one talks about Californication anymore, and that makes
that show is so good.
My heart hurts. My heart hurts almost every other episode.
Yeah, I mean, the show's about a writer from LA who's a disaster. It's just a typical writer who's more intelligent than most of the people around him all the time, and he's a fucking disaster because of it. Yeah. And that's it. Like that's the whole show. And I've never related to something more in my life.
I still think about
a disaster walking around Hollywood.
Yeah. And for Zach, if you do decide to ever revisit the show or decide, I just want to see the one episode that makes the entire series, the second to last episode of the last season.
You've talked about it before. Like I know I need to finish it. Katie doesn't like it as much. It's I don't really know why, but and we watch shows together, so I need time to watch it by myself, but I also need time to watch it where I can cry alone, and I don't like to do that around people, so you know. Yeah. I'm a TV crier for sure. I'm not ashamed to say it. Like I fucking weep at Hallmark commercials. I'm really bad. Like I get super teary for no reason. Like it's crazy.
That's empathy, my friend. That's empathy, my friend. That's what you want.
I feel it.
Anyway,
I just cry by myself alone without the TV.
We're going to go ahead and move on because we're actually kind of in the realm already of Get Rekt. Get Rekt. And I'm actually going to take the lead on this one because I just watched this film about 2 days ago and I have to talk about it. it's this French film. It's on Netflix right now, and it's called "I'm Not an Easy Man." And it's about this dude. He's like this absolute lady killer, chauvinistic kind of dude.
He's not easy though.
Well, no, check it out. He hits his head, and he gets warped to an alternate reality where the gender roles are completely switched. And when I say completely switched, they really went into like the whole. They really leaned into it. It's not just the looks of the, it's not just the looks of the world, but it's how women stand and walk and talk, and it's about how men like walk and talk, and they're wearing, men are wearing bras, and they're getting waxed, and they're wearing heels, and they're wearing booty shorts, and they're doing all these things that females do. But it's more than just the look, but it's also like the inner workings of the genres. Or of the genders kind of swapped as well, and they put so much work into making you believe that this world, like, it's just totally normal. No one thinks anything different, but he is still in his world, in his mind. He's like, no, men do this, women do this, and everyone's like, you're fucking nuts.
Yeah.
like he lost his job because he was a man. He like
in the different universe he lost his,
okay. Everyone's asking him when he's going to get married and have kids and do all these things that women just are bombarded by every day.
Is this a newer movie?
It just, I don't know what the year it came out, but it just dropped on Netflix, and it's so fucking good. And the ending you do not expect, and the lead female actress is so good at playing a dude. Like her mannerisms, her movements, her speaking, like everything is just on point. I highly like watch the movie. Me as a dude, I'm just like, wow, there's like so many things I didn't even think about on an everyday basis that women have to deal with. Yeah. And so and the thing is, it's meant to be a comedy. Like it's not like a drama. It's a very comedic look, and it turns into different things as the show goes on. 10 out of 10. Go see it. I've been thinking about it 2-3 days later. Yes.
I like that. That's super cool. Right now, obviously that's very like topical. It's a big thing right now. And I'm glad people are like genuinely exploring that. Like it is a conversation that needs to be had, that like the difference in like sex and gender is such a big thing. This is like a kind of sidebar about this, but I was like infuriated, by sort of like fucking Joe Rogan. Normally, whatever. He's a big douche bitch.
I don't
whatever.
Know him.
Either way, point being, like sometimes he's funny. Actually, his stand-up I think is kind of funny, and sometimes his stuff is interesting. However, he was talking the other day. I saw like it might have been like a TikTok or something, but he went into tangent saying that like every civilization that gets to a point like right before it breaks down has this situation where like gender becomes more fluid, and they start to like lose track of like common gender roles, and that seems to be like a precursor for a fall of a civilization. And I was like, and I kind of looked into that and thought about it. I was like, what the fuck are you talking about, Joe? Like because some of his examples were like the Greeks and the Egyptians, and I was like, those were like, the Egyptians were around for like 4,000 years, and the Greeks were around for like 1,200 years. Like fuck you, man. Like no one cared because we didn't have like a god to throw you to hell yet. Like it didn't really matter back then. And like he was just clearly wrong. And that's such like a machismo stupid look at it. And still there's just people afraid of it. It's really the boys afraid, because like girls have always been, they're like, do what you want to do for the most part. Maybe, but with guys, like, dude, we're so afraid, we're so nervous, because our society tells us like, how dare you question yourself, how dare you ever to think Brad Pitt's a hot ass dude, like how dare you think that, like how dare you worry about like what sex is or where you are on the scale, the 1 to 6 scale or whatever, like what are you worth, what job do you have, all these things. Like, I mean, that's like when I go to Knoxville, it's always funny. I try to bring up to people like everyone's like 1 out of 10 gay. Like, it doesn't matter who you are, like you're on the scale. Like, and there are some like hardcore fucking ones, but like most people, whether they admit it or not, are usually like a 3 or a 4.
I was about to say, I'm like between like a 4 and a 6 on any given day. That's
for sure. Yeah. Absolutely. I get it. I'm down. Whatever, man. And people are just so fucking mean about it. It's so stupid. So I will absolutely, I'll check that movie out. That sounds cool. Because I like that it's good.
I branching off of the Joe Rogan TikTok and like his gender stuff, like we see a lot of people, questioning identities and everything, and people being really pissed off about it. But there's this really cool thing that I like read the other day about how like, for so long, especially with like Christian, like whatever society dogmas and whatnot, there's like, the certain person, like the straight cisgender person that never had to question their identity. And as someone who's cisgender, but not straight, I'm just like, wow, what's it like not questioning? What is it? It's like default character status, bro. Like, you just don't question yourself. It's crazy.
Yeah, my girl, she asked me like, what would it take for you to like be around a dude in a very sexual manner? I'm just like, there's like very specific parameters where that can exist, but I don't know what those are yet. It always feels like a question. It's like, I know I would do it, but when?
That's a good point. The issue, I think the biggest issue is discourse. Like our society, Western culture, it's dogmatic Judeo-Christian culture has pushed us to a point where you don't ask questions. Like it's good or bad, white or black. That's it. There's right or wrong, heaven or hell, period. And we have lost discourse. And that's something like in older societies, more like paganistic or monotheistic or polytheistic religions, where religion was more about action rather than dogma. People would talk about shit. Like back in the day, that's one of my favorite things about the Greeks. Like they did some bad shit. Like Aristotle's one of my favorite philosophers, but he was kind of an asshole and he was kind of misogynistic. But at least he would say, he's like, talk about it. Always talk about it. If you have a question, ask it. And someone will answer you. And if anyone judges you for asking a question, fuck them. That's why philosopher kings ruled the area. And that's what we don't have anymore. We don't have the discourse. Like you don't have guys like me and the bros don't sit around and be like, hey, dude, have you ever thought about what like John Hamm's fucking ass feels like? Like sometimes that question goes in my head. Sometimes I wonder, but you can't ask it because we live in a society where you're not supposed to have that discourse because we're in a culture of shame.
I think a lot about William Defoe and his unusually sized wiener. Like,
excuse what?
Okay, so story time.
Is this from the movie Antichrist? Because that's not his dick. It's not his dick.
No, it's not his dick. The reason it's not his dick is because the director was like, you have a distractingly large penis. We're going to have to double
surprise
off.
Me. Because he's like a human hobgoblin hybrid.
He's terrifying. I'm scared of Willem Dafoe.
That doesn't surprise me at all that he's a fucking tripod because he's a strange human and a brilliant, beautiful actor. And from everything I've heard and what's him in interviews, like he's a nice guy too. Like he's just got a hobgoblin dong.
I would piss my pants if he'd like scared me. Like was like just literally like jumped out of somewhere and I wasn't expecting. And he was like, "Boo!" Yeah. I'd piss myself. I'm terrified of Willem Dafoe.
Honestly, I imagine that's why.
So funny.
I imagine that's why he has like no posters of himself. I imagine it just scares kids.
Yeah, I mean he's not a traditionally handsome person. That's typical Hollywood though. Like if you're not traditionally like perfect,
then handsome at some angles, and the other ones looks like he's trying to suck out your soul. Like I don't understand. He's like
ugly. They have to work real hard to make him look like
Willem Dafoe and Marilyn Manson are the two men that will scare me till the day I die.
He's handsome, ugly, and honest. Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah,
maybe we should do like a celebrity D&D on William Dafoe. I feel like that would be a real
I'd be down for 100%.
We'll do that next week.
Yeah. Because Defoe, like, what a strange man. That is such a talented, incredible human, and with a huge, big old BDE like energy about him. I've been watching Solar Opposites. There's the BDE
it's
episode.
So good.
Is incredible. Have you watched season 2? The Big Dick Energy episode is so fucking funny.
I don't remember if I did or not. I definitely got
like episode 3. Idris Elba runs the Council of Big Dick Energy. I was like
so
100%.
I haven't seen it yet.
It's so funny. You'll see. Anyway, sorry. Rather than Defoe's dick, we can.
So weirdly enough, that one Get Wrecked kind of took up the whole goddamn segment. We went into gender politics, and that's important. And William Dafoe's weird.
It was good.
Weird.
We can't
slinger.
We can't go?
Yeah, lightning rounds, go.
Danny, go ahead.
Ferngully. It was, I forgot the year it was. I think it was the 90s, early 2000s. It's a Don Bluth movie. I
actually kind of want to talk about it. Let's talk about it.
Let's talk about it.
Right.
So like I watched that. It was like Fern Gully, Labyrinth that I mentioned before, and Anastasia I just watched over and over and over and over and over as a kid. I just love the
all of them.
I guess really what's going on in here, if we hook me up to the mind computer, would terrify you, because those sculpted my personality. Anyway, back to Fern Gully. So it's like it's an environmentalist movie. It's about a construction worker who gets who's cutting down trees in the last rainforest. It's supposedly the last rainforest in the world. He's going to go cut down this tree, and the tree magically turns him into the size of a fairy. And the fairies that are protectors of the forest are like, dude, what the fuck? Like, why are you trying to like cut down our trees? Lightning round, going fast.
He's the most rad guy in the world. Like, he's so just like such a rad man. He's like Swayze in Point Break. Just the coolest dude.
The coolest. Yeah. But when they start cutting down this tree, this like evil kind of toxins come out that wants to destroy the forest. They were cutting down this ancient tree that trapped this evil pollution in there. And he's like the voice of Tim Curry, the voice we love to hate.
That's what I'm talking about. It's so scary.
It's scary.
Legitimately terrifying.
He's like this bubbling. Oh God, that song was a
he sings bop. In it. Oh my God,
song was so
it's
good.
not a bop. It's a nightmare.
I love it.
Not only is it a bop, but I've never felt sexually about smoke before until that day.
Mm-hmm. It's like that one and In the Dark of the Night from Anastasia. Those two villain songs hit so freaking hard, bro. Like I'm just like, yes, the villain.
And then lest we not forget like the unsung hero of that show, which is Robin Williams playing a absolutely like PTSD riddled experimented on bat that came out of like no place.
Yeah. He was the bat, was it? Oh my God.
He was the bat.
And I love that they would play his Walkman, and he was like, yeah, you want to jam? And they were like, what's music? And they would jam on his Walkman. It was super cool. That was a rad play.
Yeah. Well,
I was just afraid of Tim Curry.
Tim Curry was an absolute treasure in that movie, but also like Robin Williams raps in that movie, and he breaks that shit down, and no one.
It doesn't surprise me. I mean, he's an improv master. Like Robin Williams' brain moves like 10 times faster than the average human.
Yeah, no, I couldn't. Even at my best day, after a 20-year long career, I couldn't hold a candle to that man. He's just
no one. Don't feel bad. Like Robin Williams was a god amongst men.
Also, even though Don Bluth only knows how to draw one hot boy face with different haircuts, I will say that Christian Slater's voice is so sexy. Like even as a child, I'm like, ooh, who's that? Yeah, who's the blonde guy that got shrunk down?
That was him?
That was him. I was like, damn, this guy's voice is so fine.
I actually have no idea who Christian's. What did he do?
Heathers. Do you remember Heathers? He's the guy trying to,
Did you watch also? What was it? The reason? Fuck. Never mind. Sorry. It's the Mr. Nobody show. That's not what it is.
I know of it. I am.
It's about hackers. It's an incredible show. It came on TNT, but he was like the imaginary dad of Rami Malek. He was incredible.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm totally on that Get Wrecked with you. Like Fern Gully it's like a masterpiece that got lost to time. Please go see that movie. It's still pretty damn relevant to this day.
Yes.
I feel like you can like only find it like in an old VHS tape, like in someone's basement.
I think it's
because I haven't heard about it in so long.
It's
you know what? Screw it. I'm looking it up.
I'm sure it's on like Hulu or YouTube.
You're gonna find it on Tubi or something.
Tubi.
I would. I'll sit on it. Like
apparently, you can rent it for $4 on YouTube.
Hell yeah!
I'd pay to see that
for sure. I doubt Katie's seen. I'd show Katie. She'd think it's funny.
iTunes, Apple TV, Vudu, and the Jeff Bezos Army Fund. The Lizard Army Fund, Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Jeff Bezos Lizard Army Fund.
About to say, tell me more about this Lizard Army Fund.
I was very confused for a minute. I can do mine super quick. If I can burn through this.
No,
it's easy.
You know what? We're good. Keep
because I doubt anyone has seen this. It was a random small movie. My movie is called Man from Earth.
I feel like I've seen that.
It was like a really small indie film, but it was written by Jerome Bixby. Jerome Bixby was one of the original writers for like Star Trek, the original series, and the Twilight Zone. He's a very famous writer back in the day. And he was one of the more like super modern writers who he kind of like pressed the boundaries back in like the 70s and 80s when he was coming out. Man from Earth, it is literally the story of like a bunch of people go to a retreat. They're all college professors. And it is honestly just a bunch of college professors talking like philosophy and history. And in the midst of the movie, it kind of comes out. One guy, like the main character, comes out and he says, you know what, can we do it like a thought experiment? What if I were 8,000 years old and I had been around this whole time and I'd seen everything? What would y'all think? And that's like the premise, like that's how it starts. And then it's a bunch of very intelligent people like having this conversation and digging into what would it be like if someone got to like walk through history and like see what it was like. And then it digs into like religion and culture and like how that changes and the difference of like what history means to someone who was there prehistory. Like, what was it like when you were walking across the plains before like you knew what like cardinal directions or maps were? Like, what did you do? And they have like, it's just a very intelligent and like mind-numbingly awesome philosophical film. I've watched it actually several times. Yeah, and cool. It's not for everyone. For people that don't have any interest in philosophy, like it's gonna be boring. But if you have any like interest in like the nature of what religion means to people and the nature of like how culture has developed through time, this is just it's an incredibly intelligent and well-made movie. Super simple, super easy, has like kind of a twist at the end. Yeah, I'm a huge fan. I used to watch it quite a bit. I would show it to everyone, but I realized in Tennessee, most of my friends didn't like it at all because they were fucking dumb.
It sounds like something that Aaron Sorkin would write. That feels like a very Aaron Sorkin-y type of movie.
It kind of has a vibe and they definitely talk like that too, because they talk like they're debating often, which Sorkin is very famous for writing great movies, but not writing great dialogue. Like he writes literature in movies. Like people don't talk like that normally.
Oh, no. It's very artistic license.
Yeah, it's like literary.
Cool. Yeah, I'm down for that.
But it's a great movie. Anyone that likes philosophy or religion, it's really great.
Gotta be in the right headspace for brainy movies.
So
for burning
brainy philosophy.
So it's an easy watch too. It's short, simple.
We're already over. We're gonna move on.
Sorry, boss.
No, this was a great get wrecked, man. It was great. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and move on to If I Had Made It. This is about shows, movies, anime, or anything that was made for faces with eyeballs, and it didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, or it was just a heaping garbage fire. And we're discussing about how we would change it to make it better.
Who wants to go first?
Shannon does.
I have a heaping garbage fire I would like to recreate.
I love it.
So there's this series of books that I fell in love with when I was in middle to high school. Oh no.
I like that. Those movies were fucking dumpster fires. Sorry.
Aragon, the movie Aragon, the dragon movie. I mean, this is a snake, but I used to wear dragon necklace for the longest 20 minutes ago, so yeah, no, it's stupid. Okay. Yeah. Diversion. I've actually never read those books. No. So I was a super, super, super fan of the Aragon books. I went to the midnight releases at Barnes & Noble for them. Like after I read the first one, the first book was actually given to me by my grandmother. Rest in peace, Grandma.
He was just 15 when he wrote that.
Yeah, and
Christopher Paolini was fucking 15.
Yeah, and that's what caused me to write a book that will never see the light of day because I was also 15.
Oh, I'm sorry. What? Wait. Tell me more about this book.
I was about to say, we're going to read it live for sure. Yes.
No, it's horrible. Let me tell you. Donate to our
Patreon. We will totally read this.
Anyway, so the movie, I was so hyped for the movie. I saw it in theaters and I was like, the fuck is this shit? Because just they cram. It was like during that time where the Hollywood was like, wow, there's a book series that has a built-in audience, and we're not going to do what Harry Potter did and just separate it into like a book, a movie type of thing. We're just going to jam pack as much as we think can fit in here. So we only have that one movie, and if it like, we'll get our guaranteed sales, so we don't have to make another one, right? So we don't gotta.
Like the height of the YA boom, where there was like fucking Hunger Games and Harry Potter and Divergent. Everything was coming out all at the same time.
So I don't know if I'd make it into a movie. I feel like I'm always on the vein of like, I want to make it into a mini series per each book, or I want to make it into like a series because you can actually delve into the characters. But I feel like that's just a cop out at this point because I keep saying that. So if I had made the movie, I would stick to one book. I'd actually keep the character descriptions of what they were in the book because, like, you know, the elves were described a little bit not like, I didn't picture them as white people, but you know, Hollywood be like, we're gonna make everybody white except for like the people that were expressly, you know, maybe not with like the weird names. So we're gonna just like cast that over there. CG was really good though, and we'll have to say the CG was good. But
Fyra was beautiful. It's one of my favorite dragons in all of cinema.
I also like the main actor wasn't bad. He wasn't like great. He wasn't what I envisioned Aragorn to be. Like I feel like he was a little bit too old for the part as well. Because it was like a young guy who just kind of like was coming of age, and this guy was like 30. Like he looked older. Just so cast it down, keep it more concise, keep the plot things, and don't bring in stuff from the other books to try to spice it up because you felt like it. And just do like a movie, a book, man. Just do what Harry Potter did.
You wanted to be loyal to the source material.
And this is definitely one where they should have stayed more loyal, like because the book was good enough and it was small enough that it was perfect for like one movie. They should have stuck right with it, but they took tons of artistic liberty to make it. I think they were trying to make it more accessible to kids. Like
it wasn't though. It wasn't that accessible because like it was actually pretty violent for a kids movie too. I remember going with my mom, and my mom, like, if she had a rosary to clutch, she would have been like, oh God, there's gore and the arrows and the murder. Like,
seconds. I gotta fucking deal with Milton. Sorry. Keep talking. Go ahead.
But also I feel like they kind of went in a different direction, which was interesting. I didn't really appreciate it. For different like villages and whatnot, because it was like slightly different than what we had originally like thought with medieval stuff. But I also don't think they had a big enough budget for costumes and set design and everything. So it kind of all look half-assed in my opinion.
The Assassin's Creed problem.
Yeah. So I'm like, better budget, better storyline, Papa John's. Just
Gotcha. Let's see. For me, there was a movie that came out in 2015. It looked amazing. The trailers sold it as a completely different movie. It was called American Ultra.
I think I remember those trailers.
Yeah, it's Kristen Stewart and Jesse Eisenberg or whatever his name is.
Oh yeah, the guy from Social Network.
Yeah, so this thing is about the MK Ultra program and how this guy was part of this program. He was a sleeper agent, and then he all of a sudden kind of woke up. So now that the government has to do something about it. And the trailers looked dope. I was like so involved. I was waiting for months for this to come out. I was like, MK Ultra, Jesse Eisenberg laying down motherfuckers. Yeah, I will totally be down for that. What I
just stepped in dog poop and I went in my yard to wipe it in the grass to try to come in. And then I wiped it in more dog poop in the grass. There's so much dog poop on my fucking feet right now because Milton's ball was in a fucking bush. Katie's in San Diego right now, so I have to deal with a whole menagerie. And I'm just covered in poop and anger. I'm so mad. I don't like poop. I'm not a poop guy. I don't think jokes are funny. We don't poop in the same room. I don't pick up dog poop. I don't like that shit.
I think we just found his hill.
Fuck. Just laugh it up. Oh, my hands smell like shit. Fuck.
I'm crying.
Oh my God.
Yeah, laugh it up.
I'm crying. Oh,
Listen, I'm not gonna play with you anymore. We're done, buddy. Get the fuck
please,
out
Zach,
of here.
stop talking. I can't. I can't breathe.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Whatever. Fuck Aragon. Anyway, sorry, Sam. What was your next thing?
No, it was Sam.
Are we still on Aragon?
No.
Oh,
Sam
yeah.
was starting his.
We're on a
Can I say one tiny thing about Aragon though? I just wish they would have made another movie because I wanted to see Rowan. Remember when Rowan, his big brother, like killed all the fucking orc people on the bridge?
He became a super
with
badass.
one hammer. Just there was like a pile of dead people, and like the entire town was like, "Oh my god, I'm sure Rowan's dead," but he's like standing on a top of a mountain of enemies. That was like one of the coolest things ever. Brissinger was so good. Aragon was great, but Brissinger was fire.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, sorry, Sam, go ahead.
Okay. So we were talking about MK Ultra, 2015 movie with Kristen Stewart, Jesse Eisenberg. The trailers look great. It was Jesse Eisenberg stomping down fools left, right, and sideways because he's part of the MK Ultra program. What the movie actually was not what was promised in these trailers. I thought it was going to be an action-packed, awesome thing. It turned into pretty much a love story for about 80% of the film between him and Kristen Stewart. It's just basically them walking through the forest, trying to talk about their feelings with each other, but also dealing with these agents. And I was so unreasonably mad that this existed as it did. And if I had made it, I would have made it exactly like the trailer had promised. I want Jesse Eisenberg knocking down people because he was part of the MK Ultra program. I wanted him to like go to the CIA, find his files, and find out all about it, and deal with the history and really get into the lore of MK Ultra. They did none of that, absolutely none. And I'm so mad that this movie was allowed to exist. Like there wasn't like a producer or someone said, we should probably talk more about MK Ultra. No one did it, and it just. I mean,
there's a lot of those movies.
There is. It was. I did not get
a bunch of coked up writers in a room being like, "What are we fucking gonna do?" Like, no, this will be great. The producers will love it. Then nobody cares.
It was like I stepped in shit twice at the same time.
It's not funny yet. It's not. It won't be funny until tomorrow. My toes and hands stink. I need a shower. I would be in the shower right
barefoot?
now. Oh no! I mean, yes, barefoot. It was between my toes. I was so mad, and I was only doing that because I went and ran outside to throw his fucking ball because I'm in my back room. Milton, you asshole, and his ball went in a bush because I threw it perfectly somehow into a bush.
Yeah, this is still funny.
No, it's dog shit. Is what it is. It's dog shit. Yeah, I've never even heard of MK Ultras.
It's you could if you've seen it on the plane, watch something else. It's not that great, not even a little bit. No redeeming qualities. Anyway, your turn.
Okay, so this is gonna be. This is gonna go a little weird. So mine is about Air Bud, but not Air Bud 1. Air Bud 1, keep it totally fine. I'm down with a dog playing basketball. That works. Neat. However, I would make like a dark comedy of the second Air Bud, to where Air Bud had gotten famous and played like college ball and got picked up for the pros, but then like led a ridiculous life. Like Air Bud like went to the clubs and got in a fight with like fucking like Wheezy or some shit, and it's like falling down or like leaving Las Vegas, but with a Labrador Retriever, and it would be called Air Bud 2 Labradont. And it would just be a movie, like a complete satire movie about how like athletes are generally like often like, especially in basketball, because you can play like 1 year in like high school and like just fucking do whatever you want or some shit. It's crazy. But it would be about the fall of a Labrador who made it to the pros, but didn't know what to do with his money because he'd been poor his whole life and he didn't know how to deal with it.
I'd watch it. Yeah, I'd watch the shit out of that.
Air Bud 2 Labradont.
Not to knock you off your awesome idea. He's a golden retriever.
Don't care. Doesn't matter. I don't know the difference. Are they different? I thought they're the same thing.
No, Labradors are like different color and short hair, and golden retrievers are like redheads.
They're built different.
Long hair. They're built different.
Well, this would be a different dog. Whatever, man. That's honestly part of it. He has an identity crisis. He doesn't know who he is. He was adopted and he didn't really know. Just like my dog. We thought we got a border collie. Turns out he's a pit bull fucking corgi or some shit. He's just an asshole. It makes me step and poop. But yeah, who knows? Doesn't matter. Maybe he falls in love with a Labrador.
Anyway, we're going to move on from this shitty situation, and we're going to jump into the hills we die on.
Perfect.
Zach, you want to start us off?
Sure, I'll go first. This is gonna come deep from my bartending days. I hate actually just in general, like old wives' tales that don't make sense about like how to keep healthy and whatnot. And they were just generally made by dumb people. It's like the anti-vaxxer of good fucking advice. But bar-wise, when the whole like beer before liquor, or like, oh my God, I'm mixed. And so like, that's why I was sick. I had one wine and one vodka soda. I can't mix. No, go fuck yourself. People, when they like, I worked in bars for so long, alcohol hits you like alcohol. The reason you get sick when you're mixing alcohol is because you're drinking heavily. And it makes me so mad when I would meet people and they would be so adamant where they're like, I'll keep it simple. Anyone, if you go to a bar and you drink a glass of wine and a shot of tequila and some beers and a shooter, like, it's not because you mixed, it's because you drank 4 stupid drinks. Like, you would do the same thing if you drank fucking 6 vodka sodas. Like, and I find so many times, like back when I was bartending, I would have this argument where people they would try to teach me, a person who's been running bars for like a decade, like what drinking is. Like, no, I do this professionally, and I will teach you how it works. So I guess it kind of comes down to, don't fucking tell your bartender how bars work or how alcohol works. We know it better than you.
You know, honestly, for the longest time, I did believe that. I did believe, the liquor before blah, 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 blah. I also had another guy who's, a professional drinker, as you would. Mm-hmm. His whole thing was, one day I like, dude, you're a fucking alcoholic. He's like, listen up here, man. Only other alcoholics can call alcoholics alcoholics. And I'm like, the fuck does that even mean? It's like, it takes one to know one, right? And I'm like, no, you're dumb. Go back to the gutter. Go sleep it off.
For sure. There's like an army of like hurts and traumatized children with like alcoholic fathers and mothers who are just like, you are wrong, sir. Yeah, I can certainly label someone an alcoholic. I will say, you don't know what it's like to be an alcoholic.
Sure.
Well, yeah, no.
maybe after my second deployment, I was definitely getting there, but but
you were getting there. You earned it. But I'm like, if somebody's like, if I get yelled at by a little vegan girl because I drink like 6 beers when I'm at a bar, and she's just like, "Mom, are you sure you're making the right life choices?" And I'm just like, "Yeah, I'm making great life choices. I have great stories, and I'm an interesting person. Go fuck yourself and eat some kale."
Those vegan people usually do about like 4 lines of Coke anyway, so it's like,
I can't drink Pepsi, but could you line up that rail for me?
Your hashtags are not a personality, motherfucker. Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. Super simple. Just basically don't try to teach your bartenders how alcohol works. You're so stupid, and we know it better than you. And also the old wives' tale, that doesn't mean anything. Beer before liquor means absolutely nothing. If you're mixing, you're gonna get wrecked. It happens.
Let's see. For my hill of down today, not exactly the most controversial, but I do want to talk about it, and that is unpaid internships are bullshit. Absolutely goddamn bullshit. The thing is, 9 times out of 10, if you're at an internship, it is at a most likely successful business. I don't know any unsuccessful businesses who are like, hey, we need these internships and we're actually giving you credit for it. I don't know any, and
it's kind of like our old movie shoots though. Remember when we used to ask for PAs, like unpaid PAs for like our stupid fucking movie shoots we do? So it's kind of like that.
It's kind of like that, but the thing is, at least that you're building a network, you're getting a value out of it.
I was just saying.
Right. The thing is, like, if you're a multi-million-dollar corporation or even a multi-billion-dollar corporation, hashtag house and house, you pay the people who are working for you. Because the thing is, like, I've done internships. I got done dirty on a lot of them. And like, there's one specific one. I'll name the company because fuck them. The Orchard. They are a
orchard,
like apples.
Orchard,
like the orange orchid. The orchid. We'll call it the orchid.
It's a flower. Aren't orchids flowers?
Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Why not?
Flower place.
Neat. Yeah. Flower. So it's the largest independent distribution video company in America right now. They did Hunt for the They did Hunt for the Wildebeest. They did a bunch of they did the Devil's they did the Devil's Carnival, like a bunch of really solid stuff. And I got an internship there. And I'm like, great, what am I doing? Okay, you see these decks? Yeah, I see these decks. just look through them and make sure they're okay. You get to watch movies at least once a week, and can you just check all of our streaming platforms to make sure that we're presented here and there? I'm like, okay, what am I being taught here exactly? No. Well, you're learning how to do distribution. I'm like, okay, tell me how to distribute. Well, we don't teach you how to do distribution. We teach you how to work in the office for distribution. I lasted 4 days. 4 days. I sat for 5 hours. I was just doing this, and I couldn't put headphones on. I couldn't do anything. I just had to sit here looking through bitch ass decks that people are pitching for to get distributed. Maybe watching the occasional movie and doing like Vudu and Hulu and Netflix and making sure that their advertisings are prominent for the movies. And I'm just like, this is the worst job in the world. And the worst part is like my boss, he was flying to New York, San Francisco, and doing all these things to like do things. And I'm just sitting here like, I know like, yeah, pay your dues, whatever. But the point of an internship is to teach and get experience in your industry. First off, do that, you fuckers. Okay. Yeah. Don't make me run for coffee. I'm not going to do it. Fuck you. I don't even drink coffee, so I don't know how to make it. Pay your fucking workers. This is indentured servitude. This is borderline slavery. The only reason it's not slavery is because I get to go home every night. Other than that, like, pay your fucking workers, you pieces of shit.
Yeah, I had a bunch of unpaid internships for film and stuff. And I got to do, like treatments and stuff and reading through the blacklist to find out if the people in my office like would want to represent the writers. And I found out real quick that they did not give two shits about my honest opinion because I was a little nobody. And I didn't know how the industry worked. Well, I'm like, well, I can tell you there's a specific script that was the American Mulan that had her banging people during puritanical motherfucking times, I will tell you. And also taking her hair down and showing the British that she was a lady and having the American revolutionaries being like, yeah, bro, we got a lady on our team, which, by the way, historically inaccurate, didn't happen. They were sexist as fuck. And I was nice about it. I was like, this is really extremely, how did this get on the how did this get selected from the blacklist? I don't see it. And I got a passive aggressive email and a talking to by the guy who like hired because I wasn't being paid, obviously. Yeah. He sent me a like, oh, it's in development. By the way, the movie still has not been made. And I had this internship back in 2015. So who's laughing now, bitch? Me. I was right. Well, nobody. Anyway.
The one term that Sam used, the whole like pay your dues mentality, that's my main issue, because so some industries are not like that. So working in film specifically, so I've worked a lot of like film doing like PA or art or random things, and you learn tons. Like you learn so much like being on a set. But I think that's honestly like an outlier, because like I've worked several like unpaid internships for like different schools or like government stuff. I was earlier I was talking to Sam about like I worked for the mayor of Knoxville for a little while, wasn't paid for that, and it was stupid. But this idea that people have of like paying your dues, like because they hurt, you have to hurt, is the stupidest fucking thing. And I imagine that it's a very American thing because it sounds like a very American thing. It sounds like something John Wayne would fucking say. But specifically, like, so when I was on set doing art, I learned a lot. But I worked for a director when I first got here, and I was his personal assistant for like 6 months. It was awesome. He's a relatively famous director. I'm not going to drop a name because I don't want to get in trouble. But he and his wife is a very famous actress, which was super rad. I got to stay in their house. They were very rich, but he didn't pay me for anything, and he just hated me. And he was like, he used the shit out of me, and I was so mad. And he would always tell me, he's just like, no, like that's just Hollywood. You gotta earn it. Like I worked for like 4 years, blah, 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 doing this and that. And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Like, I do not care about how much you hurt. Like, why punish me? And why, like, the whole pay your dues mentality, go fuck yourself. Because like, because you just run coffee for years saying that I paid my dues. Like, I suffered enough to get there. And that's such a stupid mentality. Like, if someone's talented, why fuck them?
And here's the thing, it's actually a lot different than it used to be. Back, not even maybe I would say 10 years ago, you actually had a track. You started off at, maybe at an agency, then you PA'd, then you become a production coordinator, then a line producer, then an associate. Like you can easily work your way up.
That's on set. That's a little different. That's set stuff. And because I honestly respect like the set life. I do like that, because you can work your way up to like key anything, and it's awesome.
Well, let me rephrase. So let's say you're working in an agency or Disney or whatever. Okay.
Yeah.
The vertical is usually about, well, it used to be about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
Now that vertical, you're looking at like being a personal assistant, for example, between 5 and 10 years.
Because everything's oversaturated now. Like there's no jobs. Like
which is ironic, because there's streaming stuff everywhere and there's more content than there's ever been. So why isn't anyone moving up? And in fact, there's a movie on this, I think on Netflix, that dropped maybe a couple months ago, about a secretary who's trying to move up and she just can't do it. Actually started the hashtag Hollywood pay up thing. But pay your workers and stop gatekeeping them. Let them move up. Let them move on.
I mean, this is like the great millennial cause. It's like everyone shits on fucking millennials, but dude, I've worked full time, if not double time, for like 20 years now. Like it's insane. Go fuck yourself. I worked more than you did when you were a kid, you fucking boomer bitch. There's just nowhere to go. There's nothing to do. No one will pay me. So I have to work a million jobs to even barely survive.
And go ahead.
It's just like, also like, when you suffer so hard, like anytime, I've been through something hard, I'm like, wow, this sucks. I never want to do this to someone else because I know how it feels. Versus this older mentality is like, I don't care what other people feel. I did my time, so I get to treat people however the fuck I want. It's that entitlement shit that they think we have. And we're like, no, we actually give a shit about other people's feelings, bro.
And in closing, like if you are a person who does have a personal assistant, or you are in a position of power and you know that this person cannot move up in your company, push them, like recommend them elsewhere. You have a network, fucking use it. Don't let that talent just sit there, because they're going to resent you. They're going to resent your industry. They're going to resent your company, and they're going to come back to bite you in the ass when they do find something.
Yeah. I worked for that dude for 6 months and never got paid. And when I finally asked for money and got frustrated, they just told me not to come back. And it was one of the most like heart-wrenching things I've ever had. And I was like, dude, why would you not want to push people forward? Like I've helped you. Like I've written literal shit for you. Like there's things on TV that he says he wrote that I fucking ghost wrote for him. Why would you not help people? Like it's a young mentality of like, we're all in it together. We are the cockroaches that have to survive the apocalypse that was fucking thrown at us. And I will cockroach with all of you all.
We're built different.
Do my best. Yeah, man.
Different.
For sure.
Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this up. Good episode.
It was nice.
Shannon, where can we find you?
Where can you find me? Wait, I didn't have a Hill I Diet on yet.
Oh shit.
Mine's really fast.
Yeah,
everyone pick up after your goddamn pets, man. No shit on the sidewalk. Yeah, fuck that.
For sure. That's a really good one.
It's just like, even if you're like remotely close, like I was trying to have it so like, panoramic that's going on right now. I got the greatest Christmas present ever. It's a foldable into like a tote over your shoulder picnic blanket, because like everything was shut down. No, I got a picnic blanket. It's like from a picnic blanket company. It has a little ratatouille on it. It's super cute. But I got it because like I want to get takeout and I don't want to go home because of my situation. So I want to eat outside. Well, the days are nice. It's not too cold outside. So I go to this park. I look to go put down my blanket, and it's like on the opposite side of the dog fence, and all of the shade, all of the fucking trees, all of the nice place, because I'm a very pale person and I need to stay out of the fucking sun. Dog shit everywhere. There's just shit. Piles of fucking shit everywhere. I'm like, and so I find a skinny ass tree with like 2 branches of shade that has no shit, like farther away from the fence. And I'm like, what the fuck? There's literally a trash can for your dog. There's a dispenser of and it was full. Not the trash can, but the dispenser of the bags. I'm like, you motherfuckers. For sure. Just watch them shit.
Super annoying.
And don't pick it up. I always pick up my dog shit.
I used to play soccer in a park near my house when I lived in Van Nuys, and it was like nothing would. Clearly, I don't like stepping in dog poop, as you all have found tonight. And like, I would be playing soccer sometimes, and like I would get like the whiff, and I would look around, and so I would shook my foot. My cleats had dog shit all over them, and I would lose my fucking mind. I get so mad. So yeah, I'm on the top of that hill with a million bags for you.
And then the other thing is like when they half-ass it, they like stick it in the bag, tie it in a knot, and just leave it on the side of the path. And I'm like, no.
It's like people who leave their trash bags by their door at an apartment. What are you doing? Take it to the dumpster, you piece of shit. The whole hallway smells like, ugh. It's LA. Only in LA. This is really annoying.
It's like a higher stakes shopping cart philosophy.
Oh my God. Ooh, that's all another hill. Next time. Ooh, shopping cart people make me so mad.
Anyway, we got to move on. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching Chucklesluts. Shanny, where can we find you in the world?
So I don't really stream that much on Twitch anymore because my internet is goddamn trash. So I'm kind of pushing my Twitch stuff to like maybe when I get a new place in the summer. But I am on another Twitch stream for the Crown of Feywilds. Damn it. I totally know this stuff. I promise. On Freckled Hobo's Twitch on Sunday mornings. We do a lot of D&D. I dress up in cosplay.
Are you Zara?
No, I'm not Zarellas. I am Emery Tesserin of Class Tesserin.
Me and Katie figured out your next level, and it's gonna be gnarly.
I completely made an ass out of myself because D&D Beyond hates me, and I'm gonna go pick up some regular dice because I cannot trust the fucking literally when I needed them the most. What?
You have bad luck dice?
Literally, I was just using the D&D Beyond, and it was just like, all right, so I'm gonna like intimidation roll, and it's like, you get a 6. I'm like, fuck. All right, fine. I'll use Fey Presence because I'm a warlock, and then DC saving throw, and then Katie's like, nat 20. I'm like, motherfucker.
Yeah, no,
I can't
regular dice.
Shit.
It's so much better having regular dice because often, like, even if like, especially in Katie's campaign, you're gonna come into situations where she gives you extra bonuses that aren't gonna match up with what you have. Just get regular dice, do it on paper. Like as we talked about before, it's so much easier.
Anyway, I am on that stuff, and I'm on the Tiki Talkies, Shady Bees on TikToks. I am making more TikToks now. Hooray! Mostly in elf makeup, but
I dig it. I like watching it.
You look great in that white wig you had the other day. You were looking great. It was awesome.
I gotta figure out how to put on the contacts because I keep blinking every time I try to put it on. I'm like, damn it, just stay open.
One of the hardest things in the world is contacts.
And Zach, where can we find you?
I am often wandering. You might see me shambling through town. Besides that, you can find me on the internet on Instagram at zclap1. I don't have much yet, but I are on IMDb now. I recently got signed. I'm a person now.
Oh, we fancy, huh?
We fancy. I'm a real writer. But I will be releasing a bunch of content later this summer. I have a TV show called Becoming Famous coming out, and then a couple of Star Wars shorts that Sammy up here is also involved in. But that is not available yet. It will be available soon. But as for now, just catch me drunk and shambling. That's pretty much it.
You can find me at SlammySammyLock on Twitter. You can find me at SlammySammyLock on Instagram. You can find me at SammyLock, where I do TikTokies a little bit more than I used to, doing funny things sometimes. You can find me at Steam Buddy Productions, where I haven't made anything in a while, but there's still some funny stuff if you haven't seen it. And of course, you can find all of us here on Chucklesluts on the first page of Google. Once you type in the word Chucklesluts, you can't miss us.
It's everywhere.
It's everywhere, like Visa and herpes.
Oh, God.
With that being said, thank you for
apparently
watching.
Dog shit in Zach's backyard.
It's fucking everywhere out there. Very dangerous. It got dark so fast. Yeah.
Much love. And as always, thank you for watching, because without you guys, this is not worth doing. We will see you next week.
It's kind of the point.
Hey.
Hey.
Bye.